Coughing SC. You have a TVT to play and you need both hands against I'm MVP. Thanks to our sponsors here. Well, here he is. The Coughing Terran. He is
MVP SC.
It's like, I use one hand to cover my mouth to not spread germs, and I use the other hand to play the game. So we'll see. He really tested his opponent here in the blue from the team Incredible Miracle.
I am MVP.
You know, MVP may have won, but I felt like SCV really made him work for it, you know? It was a good game.
Yeah, I think MVP made a couple of mistakes that made it that I wouldn't have expected, to be honest. So I'm curious to see what he is deciding to do on a map like this. Calm Before the Storm is a huge map. And yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. SC didn't look all too bad, but I've mentioned that before the game started. To me, MVP lately looks a lot more mortal than he used to. He's still, in my opinion, the best Starcraft 2 player out there. But lately, we've seen him with a couple of really tight matches. He lost a few of them, and he is starting with a command center on 14.
CC first, not too surprising on a map like this. This map is essentially, I mean, it's a lot like Crevasse. I think we're going to see a Reaper expand from SC here. He's got room for the tech lab there. Could be a, you know, oh yeah, there's the tech lab, so I think it is going to be a Reaper expand from SC. But, and so both players have chosen openings that are good for this map. There's a lot of cliffs to run around on for the Reaper here. You can do okay with that. And MVP's chosen a big map to do the, oh, interesting, 2 barracks actually. Forget what I said. MVP's got a good opening too, but I'm curious about this opening from SC, a 2 barracks opening. Something you almost never ever see. I wonder if we're going to see like some Marine Marauder action after this first Reaper. See a little bit of old school Zadok style here, man. It sounds very interesting.
Definitely. MVP nearly completed his second base, is now getting gas as well as his command center. So the first Reaper is on its way in just a few seconds.
Are we going to see a second Reaper?
That's
the question.
Yes, second Reaper.
Oh.
So this is going to be pretty interesting.
Now I'm getting excited, man.
Yeah, me too.
Builds with more than one Reaper.
Barracks is done.
On the list of things that gets Doa excited.
There's a second tech lab. 2 tech labs.
Ah,
and he queued up a third Reaper. This is going like a 2 barracks Reaper play.
Yep, and you know what? I bet MVP is going to suspect just a Reaper expand. And he's like, all right, he's building the command center up on the high ground. That's normal here. And it looks like SC will build a command center, but if he just makes, he's making 2 Reapers at once. Oh, this is so good. You see this every once in a while. If you get surprised by this, you will take a lot of damage. And you know what? MVP is only going to have a couple Marines because he went command center first.
SC isn't showing it. Now he's moving out with that Reaper. He knows that with the timing, he will have about 4 Reapers into his opponent's main base very, very soon. That's kind of interesting. I'm curious to see how MVP is going to react to that. He already has a factory being built, and he's waiting with a bunch of SCVs and 2 Marines in order to welcome that Reaper. But guess what? There will be more than only 1. There are already 4 on the map.
Oh, MVP pulling those units back a little bit. You know, if he gets surprised by like 5 Reapers, there's 4 out on the map right now. How many more are being built? None at the moment. So 4 Reapers can get in there. They can one-shot Marines. They can one-shot SCVs. And here we go. I think he's waiting for the 4th. SCV poking up to see what's at the ramp. Oh, and he's going to move right in, man.
And here we go. And the first one's down. Oh my god, this is going to be brutal.
Targeting the Marines.
He needs to take out that Hellion, though.
Yeah, the Hellions lose to Reapers pretty quickly here, too. He's going to see the command center as well. Oh, look at that micro. Look at this damage. This is what I was talking about, man. If you don't know... SCV hug there, but... Yeah, if you don't know this is coming, you will lose some SCVs from it.
Look at that. He's able to take out so many of them. 12 already. Taking out another one, and finally that attack has been stopped. But he's already down to 15 SCVs against 25. This was brutal, and SC is expanding right away again. He's getting a 3rd base.
You know what? SCV is going to actually follow this up with a stim combat shield timing with a bunch of Marines.
You are calling him
I'm excited,
for the 3rd time now SCV. I know he's a hard worker,
SCV.
but he's not that hard of a worker.
Well, you know, when you say SC, it's just natural to end it with a V, man.
Look at SC's SCV.
Cloak Banshee's coming out for MVP against his opponent SC.
Without the V.
Without the V. It's one of those days.
Yeah, it's MVP SC, and
Yes.
I'm MVP with his SCV.
No. You make like a tongue twister thinking like how many SCVs did SC
Okay, stop that
Take
right now.
versus
I'm already
MVP.
getting confused. We have the engineering bay being built for SC, by the way. He doesn't have a starport, so he can't get a Viking, but he will be able to squeeze out the 1 or 2 missile turrets, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's throwing down the first missile turret, will probably get more at his additional bases, yes. So that Banshee with the cloak will be rendered useless. MVP is in a lot of trouble right now. That early game went in SC's favor, and will MVP be able to get back into the game?
I think he's still he's definitely behind a little bit right now, but he's definitely not dead. It's not a huge deficit to overcome. He's going to be playing mech as well, so he's going to be able to sit back, be a little bit more defensive, and I think that's going to be the right choice here for him. I should talk to SC and see if he can just change his name to SCV after this match, make it easier for me.
The problem is his Banshee won't deal any damage at all, so Cloak was basically useless.
Yep.
At the same time, yeah, there's going to be a scan. Nope.
Oh, are there any scans though? That's the question.
The problem is he already has 3 bases. 3 bases against 2. MVP is getting a 3rd command center now as well, but I have to admit that this is quite a tough situation for him to be in. There will be an SCV advantage for SC as well. He's on 37 against 34, and that harass by MVP doesn't do all that much damage. He needs to be careful about the supply depot though.
Might get the supply depot, yep.
Uh-oh, hello?
Will.
Repair. There we go.
Nope. He's like, I just wanted to kill an SCV, haha.
I don't really like that. Just get a missile turret.
Well, the missile turrets are protecting his mineral line right now, but yeah, losing that supply depot will supply block SC for just a little bit here. So MVP doing, a little bit of damage. Not too bad. More factories on the way for MVP, so it will be mech play. I mean, it's definitely a good map for mech play. MVP prefers to play mech. That's kind of his style of choice, but he's shown that he can do both. And no energy for that Banshee. It's going to die. Bye.
He didn't even try to escape. Just accepted his fate.
Yep. He's a brave Banshee.
Yeah, and SC is still ahead. He has 3 orbitals, so he has 1 more mule than his opponent, and of course the ability to squeeze out 3 SCVs at a time. Therefore, still with a small lead. We had Blue Flame Hellion upgrade being researched by MVP, by the way. It already finished.
Now, here's the thing. With SC's style, as you see this Banshee try to do a little bit of damage, this map is not going to be quite as good for this bio style. The running lanes are very narrow. If he's going to play bio against MVP, he's going to need to do that drop style that you were talking about a little bit earlier, or he's going to need to do what we saw Boxer doing that one game where he drops half the units onto the tank.
Oh god,
directly.
Look at that Banshee. That was not the smartest decision by MVP, but he was able to save it.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do too much with this, but he's going to be able to do a little bit of harassment. Stuff like that. Killing those SCVs is very annoying.
MVP is
to deal with.
doing a good job at being a nuisance. I'll give him that. I mean, he has 2 Banshees and he is attacking his opponent at the right side at the natural, at his 3rd base. So he's doing a really good job at that. But still, he is a tiny little bit behind in terms of workers. He was able to close the gap to his opponent though, and now we have that drop. 4 Medivacs fully loaded with Marines. Marauders are trying to get to the 3rd base, and there's nothing that will tell MVP what's coming, so this will hit him unaware.
Well, this is an excellent timing by SC. He knows that his opponent can't have a lot of tanks. They probably won't be in his main. Scan just to make sure. Yeah, SC is going to do a lot of damage here.
Oh god, look at those SCVs.
Yep.
Will he be able to take out that command center? If he kills the orbital command, that would be huge, and I think it will die.
Oh, he will.
Nice.
Getting those refineries is nice as well. Denying the gas to a meching Terran is really, really, really annoying. And he's just going to load up. Hardly going to take any damage off of these tanks. Picking off 1 or 2.
But there is... Oh, I really like that. That's exactly what MVP is waiting for right now. He has that Banshee in the back, so as soon as SC loads up, there will be the Viking taking out the Medivacs, and he already has a barracks in the back to scout when his opponent is leaving with army. The first Medivac is down. Now one of the Banshees dies. Nice scanner by SC.
Oh, SC just needs to pick up and go right now. Yeah, he needs to get out of there. There he goes. Waited a little bit too long. It was, it was 1 Viking doing that, but Lost a few more units there, but all in all, a very successful attack.
Oh,
Hugely
definitely.
successful, in fact.
He's on 140 supply against 95, doing a really good job. 62 SCVs against 46. Still has 3 orbital commands in comparison to his opponent with only 2. So he has an extra mule, which is huge right now.
Well, the spawning positions were very, very good for SC in that he could hit that that high ground base for MVP. That's quite good. Now, look at that. SC taking control of the middle of the map.
Trying to get to the expansion, to the natural, if he's able to take that one out as well.
No, not a lot of tanks up for MVP. This may be the timing he's looking for. We'll see how much the Hellions can buffer.
One of the tanks is already down, now moving in. Will he be able to take out the last 3?
I think
Looks
he will.
like it. Oh, this is basically game. MVP in so much trouble, losing more workers as we speak. Oh, God.
SC, man, his build was just so good on this map. Doing that early damage with the Reapers and following it up with that great drop. You know, he's going to lose his units here, but again, he's done a lot of damage to his opponent and just gotten that much farther ahead.
MVP is on the ropes right now.
He really
36 SCVs against 64. At the same time, we have SC with a 2-2 upgrades for his bio. He's getting a 4th base. Oh, God, this is just a horrible situation for MVP to be in. I mean, he was able to kind of neglect that early pressure of SC with his Banshee play, with the, all that harassing that he did. But in the end, with that drop play that we saw by SC, he was so far ahead. Very, very well played by the MVP player.
Yeah. Now, what I'm wondering is if we're going to see SC continue to be aggressive here, or if he's just going to kind of take the map and then take a 4th base. He is floating a command center over to the left side of the map. You can see on your mini-map there as MVP retakes his natural. If he attacks right now, this may not be the best timing, but he may just be so far ahead it won't matter.
I feel like he can end the game right now. 86 army supply against 48. He's scanning. But there are 5 tanks already, so maybe just play it safe. That's probably the best choice for SC right now.
Yeah, sometimes you see Terrans get a little bit overly aggressive and attack right after they had a successful push like the last one. And that's actually not the time you want to attack. You want to wait a little bit. So SC making the right decision right now. Oh, but it looks like he's going to try to do some damage with this drop.
If he's actually going to drop them, no, that's not going to work. There are too many Vikings, there are 2 missile turrets.
MVP's learned. If you're playing mech like this, you can certainly afford that many turrets as well. If you don't believe me, just ask a goodie.
4th base on the left side of the map, by the way, for SC, not in position just yet because of the rocks, being killed by 1 Marauder. But he has a 4th base, or he will have one upgrading it right now to a planetary fortress. And +2/+2 is going to finish for him as well.
Trying to find another way to drop this in here.
That might actually work, at the same time distracting his opponent in the front.
All right, well, we'll see how well this does. The Hellions doing a nice job to buffer. Yeah, not the best attack there, but he does do some damage here, losing some medevacs, though.
Yeah, he's losing both of them, but taking out SCVs once more, taking out a lot of them, and I think that's definitely worth it. Now annihilating the missile turrets as well. Another SCV just dies, and that makes 60 workers killed for SC.
Yeah.
Wow. SC was able to take out 60 of MVP's workers so far.
Yeah.
This is just
Well, TVT is a very dangerous game to be a worker in, because you see, it's not uncommon now these days in TVT to see more than 100 SCVs die throughout the course of the game. So, you know, MVP, he's definitely being contained pretty well right now. He's definitely behind a little bit, but SCV not quite able, or SC again, I keep doing it, not quite able to finish his opponent off just yet. You can see he's starting to take all the bases that he needs, though. And
he's kind of trying to starve him to death, and that I feel that's actually working because his upgrade advantage, he's getting farther ahead and ahead. MVP is now getting the +2 attack upgrade, but at the same time we have the bio player with a +3/+3 on its way, and he's getting a 5th base. He's just expanding everywhere, and I feel like being maxed out, he could just try to get as many command centers now as possible, then trade off his SCVs in order to free supply and rely on his mules.
yeah, we're kind of seeing an opposite of what we saw the first game here.
That's exactly what we've seen by now. Look at that. Look at the production depth. 4 additional command centers being thrown down right away.
Exactly. Well, that's how you got to play bio against mech. Yeah, you just make a ton of command centers, expand a lot, A lot of bio. Be careful, though, that you don't attack into something like what we're seeing on the screen right there. Despite the upgrades, we do see some Terrans sometimes attack into that, and it's really iffy. If you're not able to kill that, sometimes you can die to its counterattack. SC, though, he's right on the edge of having enough, but I think he just wants to kind of contain, max out, and then start trying to do some damage and replenishing.
31 Marauders, 52 Marines, 7 Vikings, and I figure that as soon as he's done with all those command centers and has the orbitals, he's going to sacrifice some of the mules. He's getting actually a planetary again.
He's going to need to use some scans, too, to scan the high ground, because his medevacs are not going to survive long to give him vision with all those Vikings in the air for MVP, that's for sure. Yeah, just more barracks.
Playing it smart, exactly. Playing it smart. 6 additional barracks being produced right now. I'm still waiting for the orbital upgrades. Here we go. Orbital number 1, 2, and 3 are probably starting soon as well.
Yep.
MVP is getting another command center.
You know, it was a bit uncharacteristic of MVP back when that initial drop, happened that did all that damage at his natural expansion, to have his army down at his third. Normally he would still leave them in your main at that point in the game. So, you know, and if they would have been in the main, he would have been able to respond, probably save the command center, and things would be a little bit different right now. So it all kind of goes back a little bit to that first drop by SC that was so successful.
We have a sensor tower being built.
All right, so here's the point in the game where MVP is going to push out because he's maxed. He's going to force SC to hand it. Oh, but look at that concave, though.
And look at the same time at all those barracks. He's getting more and more barracks.
Oh, boy. He wants to fight.
Retreat.
Oh, bio on hold position.
Needs to be careful. Getting more and more barracks. He knows that he needs to be able to replenish his army as soon as possible.
Yeah, using a lot of scans right there for both players. And on siege is a sign for SC to come in. Does he have enough, though? That is a lot of tanks, man.
Wow.
And, yep, this is exactly what I was talking about. You got to be careful. On a map like this, it is so tough to take on a mech army head-on. But SC is going to be able to replenish quickly.
Exactly. We have 11 Marines on the way, 7 Marauders at the same time, 120 supply against 152 MVP moving in now. He knows that he needs to deal a lot of damage to his opponent right now. Blue Flame Hellions are already in position, but there's so many barracks. 133 supply already for SC again, and MVP now moving in. The tanks are arriving at his opponent's main base, and this is going to be quite hard for SC to defend against.
Yeah, how this plays out will be very fascinating because SC has built so many extra production buildings. Even if he loses these, he's still going to be able to produce a lot of bio units to attack MVP. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, Kaldor. This is going to be really interesting.
I would love to see SC just rally all those units that he's building at the barracks at the top left to the main base of his opponent and just force MVP back and try to take out his production facilities.
We'll see. MVP's got to know there's something going on here. He's like, all right, where's the bio? I know he's kind of holding back a little bit here, but this is a little bit strange. And did he scout that upper base? I think he may have seen some units. Yeah, he saw some units in the upper left, so MVP should know that there's production buildings up there as well.
But there are no tanks in the main base of MVP, so if SC decides to sneak some of his units by, he will be able to take out a lot of production buildings in MVP's main base. He's picking off tanks in the middle of the map, and now the main fight is approaching, and SC losing all of his units.
A little bit of a flank there, but it looks like MVP is just going to barely have enough there. SC just lost nearly all his bio units. All right.
SC has to play it smart now, attack the main base of MVP, please.
You know what? I think SC actually is going to have this game. He's got MVP's army trapped in one corner of the map right now. He's cutting off reinforcements.
He should have this game. He should just attack. And he's doing it right now. He's attacking the main base of his opponent. He already picked off some of the reinforcements. But if he's just walking in and taking out the production buildings, then MVP won't have any chance of coming back into this game after he lost his main army.
Yeah.
And once again, at the top left, here on the screen, picking off more tanks. Well done by SC.
Yeah. Now MVP, he's kind of in a position here where he's like, all right, I have to kill everything my opponent has as fast as humanly possible. And at the bottommost part of the map, SCV is coming along as well. MVP, though, has a good amount of bio out on the map right now. The supply is fairly even. SC only about 20 supply down right now.
And he still has a lot of resources.
Yeah. Huh.
And don't forget about all those Vikings. They don't really help MVP right now.
Well, MVP can certainly do some nice harassment with those, but he's going to want to try to give them, or use them rather, to give range to his siege tanks when he can. Even SCV's helping out. They're like, we've got these plasma cutter things on our seats. We can cut things with plasma. Oh, very nicely done. Look at that. MVP killing a lot of gatherers. Yep.
And not able to lift the orbital command because he knows full well that the Vikings would attack it immediately. SC is moving back now. He's starting to play passive.
This is actually, I understand why he's doing it. He's like, all right, I could try to push the main, but if I lose my army at the main of MVP when I know he's got another army in the lower left part of the map, then I really am just dead. So SC is trying to play it as safely as he can. And that could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. I tend to think right now it actually is a good thing, but time will tell.
I actually think it was a pretty bad decision by AC. There were at some point there were only two tanks in the main base of MVP. He had a fair amount of units in front of it, a lot of fire units. He could have just attacked. Instead, he decided to move back. Now MVP has more mining bases than his opponent. He built a planetary fortress next to the rocks at one of the bases. I'm not too sure if that was a wise decision. MVP is now ahead with 46 supply, and I feel like SCV just lost the momentum in that game.
You're calling him SCV now?
Damn. Sorry. Yeah, but SC lost kind of the momentum when he decided not to move into the main base.
You know, it's one of those tricky situations in TVT, because it's like, well, I could attack, maybe kill his tanks, but then if he pulls SCVs and I lose my bio, then I'm suddenly at a disadvantage. So it's hard to say what the right decision was.
But that's basically what won MVP the game on Telerim Altar, moving into the main base of his opponent and just cutting him off from his reinforcements. Well, nonetheless, we have 178 supply for MVP, so in terms of supply, he definitely has the lead. He is behind in terms of upgrades, as we still see the Bio army of SC with 3 upgrades and the Mech army with 3 attack but no armor upgrades. So yeah, I'm not too sure what SC decides to do now. He has 116 army supply against 151 of MVP, and
well, he's in exactly the position he didn't want to be. You know, he's in a position where he's on a map with narrow running rooms against a meching Terran. So we'll have to see how he decides to try to come out of it. But you know what? MVP is maxed out again, so he can push out. And SC, oh, is he going to catch MVP on siege? Here comes the stim. Good tank positioning for MVP. Oh. Yeah, that's a massacre. GG.
Wow.
MVP takes game 2 as well. Playing brilliantly in that game.
I feel like SC would that one away.
Okay.
Damn, I really feel a little sorry for the guy. He had such a good opening with the Reapers at first. He was able to take out 15 SCVs. Then that drop that we saw where he was able to take down the natural. And then he loses the... I mean, brilliant response by MVP.
I'm sure that's what his coach is telling him. He's like, well, you could have moved in and done a lot of damage at that point. But that's the whole thing about Starcraft 2, isn't it? It's a game of imperfect information. You know, he really didn't know if he could or not.
Look at MVP.
Didn't want to take the risk.
He looks kind of relieved. He was like, whoa, that was a close call.
Well, you know, I got to say, SC's really giving him a run for his money. It's a good match.
Definitely.
Despite it being a 2-0, it's not a one-sided series at all right now. It's a very close 2-0, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and MVP did a good job at coming back into this game. I feel like, at least, I focus a little bit on SC right now, but MVP was able to come back into that game, had a lot of good decisions, and basically capitalized on the mistakes of his opponent. And coming back after he lost his second base was quite impressive. He was so far behind.
Well, that early Reaper attack that SC did was just so good. I mean, to get in there and do that damage, make it look like you're doing a Reaper expand, which is perfectly common in TVT. Yeah, he played that first couple minutes brilliantly. That was really cool.
Yeah, I like that as well. That was a nice move. He didn't try to get all too cute, like go for a Reaper attack, but just getting 4 Reapers, he knew that he could lose one of them and still one-shot Marines and SCVs, so that was quite brilliant.
Does a lot.
And it paid off. It paid off, but in the end, it wasn't enough for him to win the game.
Well, MVP really showed us why he's the best player in StarCraft 2 right now. You know, to win games like this, it's pretty impressive, you know?
And he's definitely the best Terran versus Terran. You mentioned that. 73 win percent ratio. And guys, we are soon heading to the third game. At first, we're going to have a quick break. We'll be back with the third game in just a few minutes. MVP against us.